Well, good afternoon, folks, and welcome to the Pathfinder Studios for an emergency meeting today. We want to make sure that we get this information out to you because we're going through some real volatility in the market today, and we thought it was time for us to kind of do a little panel discussion about what's going on, not only in the markets but in the economy. You know, I've had a couple of clients call me this last week, and they're really kind of uncertain about things ahead. Of course, I know that you're probably wondering what's going on in Washington, wondering what's happening with the debt, wondering what's happening with this downgrade by the S&P. And so we thought we'd spend a little time kind of chatting about what's going on, you know, and I think it's important that you remember what we say at our seminars and to you as a client, that you don't have to know everything there is to know about investing to be a successful investor, but just a few of the right kind of things. And we want to talk about a few of those right kind of things today. But the first thing I want to talk about is, one of the right things is, do not sell. One of the things that we want to really encourage you at this point is that you do not sell. We don't want you to sell. We don't want you to panic. We always tell our clients that, you know, no sell, no loss. And so, no panic, no sell. No sell, no loss. So the right thing, number one, is that we are not market timers here. We don't want to encourage you to sell. The problem with selling is that now we're in cash, and the next question is, when do we go back in? That's called market timing. We don't do that. One of the things I want to bring to your attention before I talk to Philip and Barb is, you know, a client came in the other day and said, Phil, you know, this is a terrible economy. I just really fear for the safety of my investments. I feel like we're going to lose most of the gains or most of our money in the market. What can you tell me to help give me some assurance that won't happen? Well, of course, we can't tell you anything is guaranteed, obviously. But one of the things I was very quick to point out is the fact that if you look back the last 12 months, I asked this lady, I said, can you give me a description in your own words as to how you felt the economy had done? And she said, terrible, or words to that effect. It's just been an awful economy. It looks very grim. We've had high unemployment and so forth and so on. And I said, well, let me give you a couple of facts to kind of bolster you right now. You know, in 2010, during one of the worst economic times we've had, the Dow Jones Industrials did 14.06%. I'm reading off some statistics here from First Trust. The S&P 500, which we often say don't follow because it's only reflective of what's going on nationally in the United States and the 500 companies, was 15.06%. S&P Mid-Cap 400 growth was 30.65% last year, 2010. The S&P Mid-Cap 400 value was 22.8% last year in an economy where we've had one of the worst economies we've had in many, many years. Now, that's in the United States. Worldwide, let me tell you some of those statistics. In 2010, the MSCI World, MSCI, which is the Morgan Stanley Composite Index for the world, was 11.15%. Emerging markets, the MSCI Emerging Markets was 18.88%. And of course, all we hear about is bad news. It's the apocalypse du jour. It's whatever is going on in the United States, in the Capitol building, in the war between the Senate and the Congress, between the President and everybody else. We still have realized spectacular gains over the last 12 months, in fact going back through 2009. And so I just wanted to kind of open this up to our panel to talk about it from a couple of different perspectives, because we want you to understand that, you know, as bad as it sounds out there, folks, it's really not as bad as you think. The reason why these particular markets have done so well is because corporate profits have zoomed. They really have. There's more corporation profits out there than there ever has been. And so we want to make sure that our panel discusses some of that. So I'm going to turn it over to Barb. Maybe you can speak to that a little bit, Barb.
Well, I would just like to encourage all of you to remember that long-term means lifelong. So whether you're in your 20s or whether you're in your 80s, that, you know, this is for the rest of your life. And also, when it comes to people getting ready to retire, oftentimes the thought process is, well, you know, how should I be investing my money since I'm maybe 2 to 5 years away from retiring? But I just want to remind you that when you're getting near retirement, you actually have to look at 30 to 35 years in retirement. So if you're around 62 years of age, we have to help you plan to the age of 95 for your money. So, although the markets are down, and they've been down since last week, we really don't know what the reason is. These are blips in what's going on in the marketplace. But we just encourage you to stay put and stay with the strategy that you're in. And quite frankly, what our technology team will be looking at is a good time to rebalance and keep you with the same strategies that you chose when you came to Pathfinder.
And for those of you that do have some fears and troubles about what's going on, right now, everything that's driving the markets is fear. If we look at what's going on right now, I'm going to go through a lot of the data, and not a lot, just some of the data. But what I say is right now, we're driven by fear, not the fundamentals. The economic data is visibly improving. Unemployment is down. Private jobs have actually come up 154,000 new jobs have been created this past month in July, whereas in June it was 80,000. So you can see that this is the 18th consecutive monthly gain that we've seen with new jobs. Unemployment's down, that's great. Auto sales have been up for the past couple months. If we look at housing market, the housing market's up. The past 2 months it's up 11%. So we can see that there is so much data that's out there that is good data. Unfortunately, this market is being driven by the fears of what's going on over the world, and a lot of it's actually, you think it's actually going from the U.S. and what's going on with the S&P and how they downgraded the U.S. Bonds, but it's actually driven more so of what's going on in Europe and in Asia, and actually more specifically in Italy. So we need to understand that we do have a worldwide portfolio. We own 42 different countries, over 12,000 different companies inside of our portfolios. And even inside of that, we have bonds that are high quality, short-term type of bonds. And you'll see that area actually growing the past couple weeks. So this is a great time to rebalance. This is a great time to understand what is going on. And that's what we want to be. We want to be that remedy for what is going on in this market. All this virus, all this stuff that's going on in the television, on the internet, turn that stuff off. It's just going to give you heartache and trouble. We want to be the antidote to all of that junk that's going on out there. So we appreciate you spending time with us here at Pathfinder. If you have any questions, please feel free to call us, email us, whatever you need to do. We're here for you. Have a good evening.